Welcome back, everybody. The holidays are a bustling time for many, filled with family and friends. But for those suffering from trauma, it's important to practice self-care. Today, Dr. Rochelle Head Dunham, Executive and Medical Director for Metropolitan Human Services District, is here to tell us more about trauma-informed care. What a topic, Dr. Dunham. Welcome back.
Thank you, thank you.
It's
Heavy
such
duty.
an important one that we're talking about because I'm so curious. We hear about trauma a lot in TV, in families, but what is it? How does someone consider trauma a thing?
So, you know, trauma is kind of thrown around a lot as a commonplace term, but in truth, when we speak of trauma clinically, we're talking about situations that are out of the range of ordinary experiences that really help have the person feeling threatened for their life or the life of someone else. So it's not just about what you're personally experiencing, it also could be traumatizing to witness the potential danger or loss of life for somebody else. And so in the world we're living in, there's a lot of witnessing of that as well. And so a lot of traumatic experiences that then have symptoms associated with them that can last a lifetime.
Let's talk about some of those symptoms. What are some symptoms of trauma?
Yeah, so the way we think about it is there are four categorical ways that we diagnose trauma. First, you have to have that odd and unusual experience that is threatening. You also re-experience it through flashbacks, or you're in a scenario that reminds you of the trauma and you start to feel physically like you are there again. There is hypervigilance, anxiety, restlessness, can't sleep, insomnia, and a lot of avoidance of what was associated with the trauma, and that could be people, places, and things.
And you know, we're in the holidays right now, and you say the holidays really can be a trigger for trauma. How so?
Unfortunately, so, because holidays in particular, because they're traditional and they come around every year, each year you get layering of stuff, starting from when you're young. And those experiences aren't always good experiences that get associated with that time of year. It's the association of it with that time of year. People tend to get inebriated and intoxicated, and they do things that are regrettable. People have many memories of not having good holiday, not getting gifts. There's a lot of poverty. You know, it's a time of gaiety, shopping, things. I don't have things because my family couldn't afford it. Or if a person has relatives visiting and maybe they had an experience where somebody took advantage of them physically or sexually during the gaiety of the holiday. We could have situations where people don't have the food and the extravagances, and that's a time of reminding that we don't have. Everybody else seems to have, and we don't have. So there's a lot of trauma associated with it. Bad relationships that aren't good, you know? Having to be in face-to-face with those people who you've avoided all year long, and here they come.
That's right.
Now I have to deal with them, right? And sometimes things get said and done in the midst of all of this that just really reawakens old memories that were never processed. And now here I am again, feeling as if I'm in that original moment once again.
And you know, one thing that you all are aware of at Metropolitan Human Services District is trauma-informed care.
Yes.
Coping mechanisms, because I feel like everybody has trauma, whether we think we have it or we don't.
Right.
Some type of trauma is there for everybody. What are some healthy coping mechanisms?
Yeah, so the first thing is always going to be prevention. So if you know that this is a difficult time, you put in preventative practices before it even starts, right?
Such as?
So for example, if you don't have the finances, then find other things to do instead. A safety plan is important too, because if you know you get depressed, you go down that slippery slope during this time of year, you plan to be around people maybe, make sure that you got somebody who you've cued in so they're checking on you. Do other things. Just because it's the holiday season doesn't mean you have to have a Christmas tree in your house. You don't.
That is so true.
You don't have to do any of that, and give yourself the grace to choose not to get involved in all of these activities if they are problematic.
And what do you tell people who are like, I'm just gonna block it, I'm not gonna worry about it, I choose to not think about it? Is that something healthy to do?
Well, it's just like anything else that's problematic psychiatrically or psychologically. It's still there, and it's just waiting for the right button to push so it can pop out and take charge of you emotionally. And so the better thing to do is to deal with it when you have your best capabilities in place. And that's why we talk about people talking to somebody and being on the front end of it so that it doesn't catch you off guard. So no, these types of things are usually buried very deep in our psyche. They aren't even conscious to us all the time. It's just that when something happens and then you're feeling some kind of way about it, and the feeling is very familiar.
It is.
And now you realize, oh my God, I never got over that. And now it's paralyzing you once again.
And sometimes it takes some time, right? Like maybe you had a traumatic experience as a child, you chose to block it out, but something happened that triggered it, and now you probably know why you feel the way you feel. And during the holidays, it's supposed to be the most wonderful time of year, but putting in those coping mechanisms will help you if you have that trauma. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Happy holidays,
Happy
my
holidays,
darling.
too.
Always a pleasure to see you. And look, everybody, if you want more information about mental health, including how to get certified in mental health first aid, log on to mhsdla.org or follow them on social media. And stick with us, everybody. We have a lot coming up on Great Day. Don't move. We'll be right back.